Now, a lot of your cards are repeat cards in actually the same position as Pisces. So if you're dealing with a Piscean person, you might want to watch their video. I shuffle the cards. I shuffle them very, very thoroughly, and two of the cards came out in the same position, in the same exact position. So I feel like there is a strong Aries, Pisces type of connection going on here. First of all, I feel like there is definitely some issues regarding parenting style, and I feel almost like you're learning to develop your own techniques when it comes to dealing with children, and maintaining your own techniques when it comes to dealing with it's almost like loving detachment, taking care of somebody, but knowing to detach and not infringe upon their free will. So I see there's somebody around you who is a parent, and they're doing a lot of things that would be considered a disservice to the child. Either they're so emotionally unstable or emotionally irrational that they are so caught up in their own emotional needs and they neglect the child, or they resort to manipulation and things like that in order to drive a wedge between the child and the people that the child loves. And I feel like for you, that is really unacceptable. And I feel like you're being very militant about, going in and giving this person a piece of your mind, telling them like, that's not okay. And I see some people around you kind of holding you back, telling you like, no, that's not your place. Or, this isn't a situation for you. It's not wise for you to get involved in it. And I feel like you're struggling. You're struggling. You have this inner dilemma about like, should I tell them how I feel, or should I just try to hold back? And so I feel like you are now arriving at a compromise where you're like, I will do whatever I can, but at the end of the day, it's not my child. So I'm not going to, you know, I can't do much more than what I do now. And I feel like that's the right solution. So I feel like for some of you, you're taking care of either, you're seeing this with other people's kids, or it could be like, you're dealing with a child that you're taking care of, but it's not your child. Okay, so that element also came in for Pisces. It's really hard with these co-parenting relationships. It's very, very challenging. And I feel like, you're operating from a space where you feel like you know what's best for the child. And I feel like the universe supports that, supports your ideals and your vision of what a good parent is supposed to do. And I also feel like for many of you, you've learned what not to do. You've learned that, even if the relationship has fallen apart between two parents, they can't talk badly about each other in front of the child. So like, what not to do. Many of you have come from, blended families where your parents might be divorced and you have like step parents, step siblings, and everybody, tries their best to get along. And everyone has gotten along because there's a lot of love in the family. And so that it's a challenge, but that it definitely can be achieved. Like harmony could be achieved, love could be achieved. So we don't have to bring, the baser human emotions into it: jealousy, envy, animosity, and resentment. And that it can be done. And I feel like you're trying to give this person, you're trying to school this person and tell them that it doesn't have to be like this. You're making it so difficult for yourself because you're holding on to so much resentment. I also feel there is definitely a sense of envy here coming through from other people, where they look at your life, they look at, the financial success that you have built up for yourself. And it wasn't gifted to you, it wasn't handed to you on a silver platter. You worked really hard to achieve everything that you have right now. Your professional standing, the financial stability that you built up for yourself. You worked really, really hard. You took action, you took initiative, and you moved away when, when the time called or when the opportunity was calling to you. You moved away. Like, I almost feel like it's divine timing, where people started leaving your work environment and you're like, maybe it's not too stable, so I need to leave too. So I feel like, you took active steps to get yourself where you need to be professionally. And you're always up for a challenge, and you're always looking around at new opportunities. So I definitely feel like, everything that you built up for yourself, it was through your own sense of divine timing, your own dedication, perseverance, and hard work. And there are definitely people around you looking at you and really admiring you, but also I see like envy and things like that for everything that you've built up. And sometimes when you're dealing with them, they might say like, they might make offhanded remarks, and I want you to be careful about this. They might say like, you're always traveling. Where do you get the money to travel? Or, if you have like a partner and they're very wealthy as well, the other person might say like, where did you get that nice thing? Is your boyfriend or girlfriend buying all of that for you? It's almost like they're undermining your capabilities to take care of yourself, to buy nice things for yourself. So I do see envy coming through from another person. And be careful of people who are, very snippy with these remarks, because I feel like it stems from a place of envy, and you don't need that type of energy around. I feel like this is a friend, okay? Somebody posing as a friend, or somebody who, I feel like it's somebody who's posing as a friend, but they're not really a true friend. So just keep that in mind. In the love situation, for many of you who are single, I feel like we have some really good cards here for singles. We have the Two of Cups. This is a really strong soul connection that you have with another person. And I feel like this is somebody brand new that's coming into the picture. There's also a lot of communication back and forth between you and this person. And I get this energy about you trying to keep things very quiet about this. So in the past, whenever you feel strongly about someone, whenever you feel you love someone, whenever you have a crush on someone, I feel like you've made it known, okay? You either let your friends know, and you're very open about how you feel about a specific person. But this time, it's a really strong soul connection. And I feel almost like some of you are slipping away in the middle of the night to go hang out with this person, and your friends are texting you and they don't even know where you are. And I feel like you're keeping things very hush hush, because it's almost like in the past I've always told everybody and it never worked out. I don't want to jinx this connection, so I'm going to keep it to myself. And I feel like the early stages of a relationship, it's wise to do that. Okay, it's wise to do that until you can establish a stable foundation between you and that person before you let other people know. So I feel like you're trying to do this the right way, because a part of you is kind of superstitious. You don't want to jinx the connection by letting too many people in. And you're also aware that there are jealousies around you, and you don't want that negative energy to breed, and it might, energetically interfere. So I feel like there is a strong sense of superstition about you, where you're keeping things close to your chest, not letting people know, because you don't want them to send energies to ruin what you have. And that's the good thing. I don't see like you slipping away with somebody who's already in a relationship or married, but I definitely feel like there is a really strong connection. And I also feel you are actively slowing things down and trying to take it slow with this person. Yes, there's a lot of communication, but I don't feel like you're at a point where you're intimate with the person yet, because you're trying to take things slow and you're trying your best to be rational and grounded. Because I feel like in the past you might have rushed things and it didn't come the way that it didn't come to fruition the way that you plan. So this time you're going to take it easy, one day at a time, slow things down. But either way, I feel like there's a lot of communication between you and this person. For singles as well, I feel like a lot of dates, a lot of dating, attempts at dating, and people coming and, sending you messages as well. Lots of communication. I'm also feeling, for those in relationships, I'm feeling like, let's meet the parents, taking the relationship to the next level, introducing your parents to the new person that you're seeing, and then being introduced to the parents of the person that you're doing, being introduced to their siblings, being introduced to everyone that's important to them. And then I see you kind of like right in the middle, and everybody's shooting questions your way. Everyone is like, how did you guys meet? Do you have pets? They're asking you a lot of questions. They're trying to pry information out of you because you're dating somebody that's in their family, right? So it's natural. It's done in a good spirit. It's done in a very non-hostile type of way. So I feel like it's okay for you to open up. But it can feel a little bit uncomfortable when there's so much attention, right, on you. So I see that element where a lot of you are, I see as well publishing. So for those of you who are in the public eye, opportunities to publish content, especially like if you're working on a creative project and you're bringing it out into the world, I feel like it's going to gain traction and momentum really fast. It's going to be talked about, and a lot of people will be asking you a lot of follow-up questions. How did you do that? How did you achieve this result? What method do you use? What techniques do you use? So they're asking you a lot of logistical questions about that thing that you're doing. And then I also feel like there's a closing out, like closing out of projects, closing out of things from the past as well. And the closeout cycle, I feel, it allows for things to get published. It allows for you to wrap things up and then not having to worry about it anymore. And then I also feel for some of you, it's a closing out on past relationship cycle, where I have a water sign, a Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio. And this is somebody that you might have had a lot of conflict with. And I feel like they weren't fast enough. They weren't quick enough. They stalled. They dragged their feet. They have a lot of love for you. But I feel like they might have children and you might not be ready for that. Or you might not like their parenting style as well, like I mentioned earlier. And I also feel like they weren't fast enough. I feel like, you show them your feelings, you show them your intentions, but I feel like they stalled, they took their time, and they didn't really, they might have thought you would wait around for them. And so they took you for granted, I feel. And you're at a point where you're moving on. You're moving on with your life. You're meeting new people. You could also be in a new relationship. And you've already closed out that chapter from your life. The other person is still dragging their feet. They're like this with everybody. They take their sweet time. They don't do things with a sense of urgency. And as a fire sign, it can be very annoying for you or aggravating for you. And it's like difficult for you to understand where they're coming from. So from your end, you felt like they were disinterested, but I feel like they did care about you. It's just they move on their own time. And unfortunately, I feel like, you didn't want to wait around for it, for whatever reason, but I don't feel that person is the right one for you because energetically you're not on the same timeline. And that's a sure indicator that somebody is not, going to be brought into the future with you. So I feel like you're moving in the right direction. There has also been a lot of conflict with this person too. So I just don't feel like it would have worked out either way. And you're moving into a state of better harmony with another person. Even if you're just starting out dating, I see some of you, pulling out date dresses is what I'm hearing. So you have these dresses or these really nice clothes in the back of your closet. You're pulling them out, you're getting them iron, you're getting them steam because you're ready to go on dates. You're ready for the festivities too. And you're ready to kind of like make your re-entrance into the dating world, which is good. And so financially, things look really good. It's not going to be too busy on the work front. I feel like it's a lot of festivities. It's a lot of moving forward. And there's also just a lot of, it's no longer being on your own and moving out and with another person.